Two former employees of Twitter and a third man from Saudi Arabia face US charges of spying for the kingdom by digging up private user data and giving it to Saudi officials in exchange for payment. The three now face charges of working for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia without registering as foreign agents. According to the complaint, one of them repeatedly accessed the Twitter account of a prominent critic of the Saudi royal family in early 2015. The account of a second Saudi critic was also accessed to get personally identifiable information. California revealed for the first time in 18-month investigation into Facebook's privacy practices and accused the social media giant of hampering the probe by failing to turn over emails from Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg. The revelation is the latest bad news for Facebook, which is already facing an investigation by 47 US states over concerns. The company engaged in anti-competitive practices, put consumer data at risk and pushed up advertising prices. The House committee is leading the impeachment probe of President Donald Trump released a transcript of the deposition of Ambassador William Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine. Taylor's testimony, delivered behind closed doors on October 22nd, was considered one of the most damaging to the Trump administration to date, as he outlined how it was leveraging nearly $400 million in U.S. aid to Ukraine in exchange for an investigation of the Republican president's political rival. The president, of course, has called it the greatest witch hunt in American history. Eight people, including 4 tourists, were wounded in a knife attack at the famed archaeological site of Jerash in northern Jordan. 4 tourists, 3 Mexicans and a Swiss woman were wounded, along with a Jordanian tour guide and a security officer who tried to stop the assailant. A source in the security services said that the attacker was identified as 22-year-old Mustafa Aborouis and that he came from the Palestinian refugee camp of Souf. A pro-Beijing lawmaker in Hong Kong has been stabbed on the street by a man pretending to be a supporter. A man approached politician Junius Ho with flowers before reaching into a bag, saying that he wants a picture, pretending to be a supporter, but instead lunged at him with a knife. However, the attacker has now been arrested and an investigation is currently underway. Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam has strongly condemned the violent action against lawmaker Junius Ho. The stabbing is the latest in a series of attacks on people on either side of the Hong Kong protests. Around 200 people protested outside a community centre in the north of Barcelona as far-right party Vox organised a campaign rally. The protesters shouted, "Fascists, get out of our neighbourhoods," and held signs reading, "No sexism, no machismo, no fascism." Attendees of the meeting were guarded by Catalan police as they arrived for and left the meeting. Vox, an anti-immigration nationalist party, was founded in the year 2013 by former members of the Conservative People's Party. A few hundred women protesters lit candles and shouted slogans while marching to the government headquarters in the Lebanese capital, demanding that the whole government resigns. The women were protesting just hours after sources revealed that Lebanon's Saad al-Hariri, who resigned as Prime Minister last week, had a positive meeting with leading political Gibran Bassil, and all ideas were discussed for getting the country out of economic crisis. It was his second meeting with Bassil in 3 days. Chile's President Sebastián Piñera has said that he will not resign in the face of deadly protests over inequality and poor social conditions that have entered its 3rd week. The violence gripping one of Latin America's most prosperous countries has forced the government to cancel separate international economic and climate summits. Video from the Bolivian town of Vinto shows the town hall on fire as the country continues to be engulfed in protests that have turned violent. At least 1 person was killed in the neighboring city of Cualacolo during the violence. President Evo Morales won last month's vote with a lead of just over 10 points over Carlos Mesa, his nearest rival, giving him an outright win. The victory, avoiding a second-round runoff vote, was marred by a near 24-hour halt in the in the country, which, when resumed, showed a sharp and unexplained shift in Morales' favour. A partial ceiling collapse at London's Piccadilly Theatre halted the performance of Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, causing a few minor injuries and prompting an evacuation of the audience. Police were called to the West End Theatre, where American actor Wendell Pierce was starring as Willie Loman in a production of the 1949 play. The police said they had evacuated around 1,100 people from the theatre. Suspected separatists have killed at least 15 people and injured 4 others in southern Thailand in one of the country's worst attacks in years. Police officers were among those killed at the attack on a security checkpoint in the Yala province. The attackers used explosives and then scattered nails on roads in an attempt to slow down people chasing after them. Thousands have been killed in southern Thailand since a separatist insurgency gripped the region in 2004. Iran has taken a new step away from nuclear deal by activating sensitive enrichment facility. Iran has announced that it will begin enriching uranium using centrifuges at a controversial and heavily fortified nuclear facility. It's the latest in a series of breaches by Iran following President Trump's decision to abandon an international nuclear deal and impose economic sanctions. Turkey has revealed that the wife of slain ISIS chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has been captured and is under their control. The fresh revelation comes a day after the Turkish authorities confirmed that his sister and brother-in-law had been captured in Syria. Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan told the world that they have captured the wife of Islamic State leader al-Baghdadi, stating this for the first time over a week after Baghdadi's death. Erdogan chose an audience at Ankara University to break this news to the world. The Brexit saga has so far been full of several twists and turns, and now the UK is gearing up for an election which might or might not put an end to the uncertainty which has now lasted 3 years. The election will take place on the 12th of December this year. The 5-week election campaign has formally begun with Boris Johnson's speech at the 10 Downing Street. Once again, Johnson blamed the parliamentarians for the Brexit chaos. A US State Department report on terror has put the Maoist Party of India as the world's 6th deadliest terror organization in the world. The report also ranks India as the 4th worst terrorism-hit country, where 57% terrorist incidents came from Jammu and Kashmir in the year 2018. Pakistan resorts to Khalistani propaganda in name of people-to-people contact at Kartarpur. As per the government sources, the use of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale's image in Pakistan video reveals Pakistan's intention of stoking another separatist movement in Punjab. Prime Minister Modi will be addressing a public gathering at Dera Baba Nanak and inaugurate the Kartarpur corridor on November 9th. India has come out with its promotional video marking the opening of the Kartarpur corridor. This after Pakistan sought to use the landmark event to revive Khalistan separatism in India. Home Minister Amit Shah tweeted the video hailing the upcoming opening of the Kartarpur corridor, saying it represents the Modi government's commitment towards universalizing Guru Nanak Dev's teachings.
190 किलोमीटर लंबे करतारपुर हाईवे और आधुनिक सुविधाओं से सज्जित इस पैसेंजर टर्मिनल के साथ अब हम बिना वीजा के करतारपुर साहिब तक पहुंच सकते हैं, जिसे अब तक हम दूरबीन से देखा करते थे और जाते थे वीजा लेकर पाकिस्तान के रास्ते। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने अपनी नीतियों से मानो सरहदें पिघला दी। इतिहास में पहली बार भारतवासियों के लिए समर्पित है डेरा बाबा नानक से करतारपुर साहिब तक का करतारपुर कॉरिडोर। 4.1
The Punjab and Haryana government were criticized by the Supreme Court for their inability to control stubble burning by farmers, accusing the government of failing to provide a roadmap and leaving it all to officers. The court upheld that the time has come to punish officers. Smoke from the stubble burnt on the farmland of Punjab and Haryana is the chief component of the smog that chokes Delhi and its neighbouring areas. This year, it has spread over much of North India. More than 11,000 scientists have issued a stark warning of untold suffering due to climate crisis unless there are major transformations to the global society. As per the scientists, there is no time to lose as the climate crisis has arrived and is accelerating faster than expected. It is more severe than anticipated, threatening natural ecosystems and the fate of humanity.